Hey guys, so we're going to try this again, finding the area of rectilinear shapes, and I've reworked it again to see if this helps you out a little bit better, and I've created some steps. So we have the following shape, and we notice that we do have a missing side, so we're going to look at finding the area of this particular shape. So we're going to simply start with the first step, and it says to label the side that runs all the way from the top to the bottom of the shape. So we're going to simply use an arrow, and we're going to find the side that runs all the way from the top to the bottom of the shape, and we have that. This is the only side that runs all the way from the top to the bottom because the other sides are broken apart and they stop. Okay, so then the next step says that we label the side that runs all the way from the left to the right of the shape. So once again, we're going to go and we're going to look, and this is the only side that runs all the way from left to right as the other sides are broken apart. Okay, then we're going to move directly into the third step. Look to see if there is a missing side. We look over and we realize that there is a missing side in this shape. And it says if there is, box it in. So I'm just going to quickly grab a box from here, and we're going to box in that missing side. Okay. Then the next step says if there is a missing side, look to see if it runs from top to bottom or from left to right. So I'm looking at this missing side, and I notice that it runs from top to bottom. Okay. If the missing side runs from top to bottom, box in all the sides that run from top to bottom. If the missing side runs from left to right, box in all the sides that run from left to right. So since this missing side runs from top to bottom, we're going to box in each side that runs from top to bottom. So that would include this side, and that would also include this side. Okay, so I've boxed in all the sides that are running from top to bottom, and I'm going to move to the very next step, which says, using only the measurements of the sides that are boxed in, place the boxed in side that runs all the way from top to bottom or all the way from left to right, depending on where your missing side is. Place it at the top of the mountain. So for those of you that remember, especially when you were in first grade and second grade, we use math mountains. So we're going to pull out a math mountain. Okay. And we are going to place the side that runs all the way from top to bottom, which would be this side, at the top of the mountain, which means we're going to simply just place a 9 at the top of our mountain. Okay. And then the next step tells us, using only the boxed in measurements, place the remaining number on one end of the mountain and the question mark, which represents the missing number, on the other end of the mountain. Determine what the missing number should be and write it in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that piece by piece. And the first part tells us to look at the other boxed in numbers. We've already used the 9. We have a 4 and we have a question mark. So the 4 is going to go on one end of our mountain, and the question mark is going to go at the other end of our mountain. And for those of you who remember, on the sides of your mountain goes subtraction signs, and then in the middle of your mountain would go a plus sign. I'm going to make this part a little bit longer. Okay, so in the middle would go a plus sign, and so we would look at it like 9 minus 4 equals blank, or we could say 9 minus blank equals 4, or we could look at it and say 4 plus blank equals 9. So we're basically looking in that, and we're going to fill in the blank. And so really easily we can do 9 minus 4 equals, holding up 9 fingers, well, I really don't need to hold up 5 fingers, but if you do, you can. We know that 9 minus 4 equals 5. So we're going to quickly write that 5 over here. Okay, and so we know that that's no longer a missing number. It is now, we're going to cross that out, it is now a 5. Okay, so then we're going to quickly move on to the next step. Now it says decompose the shape to make 2 shapes, because we've now found the missing side. And since we've labeled it in the mountain, let's go ahead and label it on our shape. So let's go ahead and add that we know that this question mark is worth 5. So we know that that missing side is 5. Okay, now it tells us to go ahead and decompose our shape to make 2 shapes. And this is the part that we're all used to doing. We've done this several times. So we're going to move to the place where we take this shape and we're going to separate it. And I'm just going to simply separate it here, because that's pretty easy for me. Okay. And the next step says, using a crayon, color pencil, or highlighter, trace the perimeter, which is the outside, of one of the shapes in a color. So again, you guys are used to doing this where we simply come over and we choose one of these shapes that we're going to trace in a color, and I'm just going to keep with the red because I started using that. So we're going to do that here. Going to quickly take that over to this side, and we're going to quickly bring that down. And also, I'm going to bring that back over and close that in here with this shape. So now we have a red shape, and then we have our purple shape. And so then we're going to move into just normal finding the area of a rectilinear shape. All right, the first thing we're going to do now, or the next thing we're going to do, is find the area of the colored shape. Okay, that's the first thing it tells us to do. So we're going to take that piece by piece. And that's pretty easy for us because we know that in order to find the area, sorry, didn't mean to move that around. We know that in order to find the area, we have to multiply the length of our shape times the width of our shape. So we know that top to bottom gives us the length. So in this shape, we're looking, and that 4 runs from top to bottom. And so I'm going to simply quickly go ahead and place that 4 there. And we know that when we're dealing with area, we multiply. And then I know that the width of my shape goes from left to right. And I can look and see in this red shape that goes this way that my width is going to be 8. So I'm going to put my 8 there. And I know that 4 times 8 equals 32. So I found the area of that particular shape. And now I'm going to move down to this purple shape. Okay. And again, we're only looking at the purple, and we're going to again do length times width. Again, length goes from top to bottom, and I'm only looking at the purple, so I'm only going from this top of the purple down to the bottom, and I know that is 5 because we found that missing side. Again, we're multiplying, and we can look, and the width running from left to right of this purple shape is 2. 5 times 2 is equal to 10. And then the last thing that it tells us to do, we find the area of the colored shape, then we find the area of the other shape. We've done that. Add the 2 areas together to find the total area of the whole shape. So the last and final piece that we're going to do, and we can simply do that down here at the bottom, is we're going to take 32 and we're going to add it to 10. And when we do that, we're going to look over and That's going to give us, and I'm going to do it kind of weird, 2 plus 0 is going to give us 2. And then 3 plus 1 is going to give us 4. And so that easily shows us that the area of our shape is 32. I think that was simple and easy enough, and I'm just going to stick our plus sign there. 32 plus 10 gave us 42. I think that's simple enough, and I think that's probably easier for some of us to figure out rectilinear shapes. So I want you to use this video as many times as you need to figure out the steps. And you have 3 practice problems. I want you to use these steps. Replay the video if you need to figure out your practice problems, and once you finish, bring them to me so that I can check it, and hopefully this particular method will work for you. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Bye.